Let's see some. Then we have research. What's the other one? Bonifacio Sulaiman. Sulaiman. Okay, I'll look it up. Okay. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my live. So this is actually intended for my subject, which happens to be 3i's. So I'll be explaining that one in a moment. For now, let's just wait for the other students who are capable of watching this live to be able to tune in, and then I'm going to start. Let me see. Okay, I'm just going to ready the materials that I need to discuss this afternoon. When there will be 15 already, then I'm going to start. Hello, good afternoon. That. Okay, so let's start. So once again, good afternoon to my students, especially for those that are coming from UMS. This is going to be the first time that you are going to be my students, and I'm going to be your teacher in English, okay? But for those who are with me in the TVL department or in the TVL track, so I think you already know me. So this coming next semester, I would still be your teacher in bread and pastry production, but at the same time, added to that load that I have Joshua Senate Iloilo. So technically, I'm a graduate of education, secondary education with a major in language. So apart from that one, as you can see, I am wearing my chef's uniform because I am literally coming from the TVL department. I am teaching bread and pastry production in our department. Okay, so let's start from the very basic. You might be asking, what is 3i's? What does I means in the 3i's? So I think you already know, or you already had your what do you call this one? Your research subjects in the past. You had your PR1 and you have your PR2, right? So what difference that is does this 3i's have with your other research subjects? So when we talk of 3i's class, it means inquiries, investigations, and immersion. So technically, apart from this subject, you are going to have your immersion as well, right? So we're left with the 2i's only. We have inquiry and investigation. So from the term itself, when we say inquiry or investigations, this is something to do with, again, research. But what's the difference of this one? Supposedly and ideally, this subject has been designed for you to investigate and to inquire from your own specialization. Say for example, if you are from UMS, this time around, it should be that during your immersion, there would be a research that you are going to do in your specific field. Okay? Unlike with PR1 and PR2 before, that you were given the opportunity and the chance to choose whatever topics you want to discuss. That's why some of you had a research about students, some of you had research on smoking, on probably on teenage pregnancy, on academic stuff, and others, right? But this time, ideally, as what I've said, 3i's would really be for your field of specialization. But then again, because of the pandemic, this has been redesigned, okay? Meaning to say, you really cannot go on an immersion. I mean, you are really not going to go on an industry for an immersion. So it is expected that the research you're going to produce as well would not be coming from the industry itself, but rather we're going to do some modification, which means that we are going to allow you to utilize your PR1 and your PR2 researches. So when I say utilize, it means to say that you are going to enhance those. You are not going to submit to me the same manuscript, the same research that you had before, but rather you are just going to get something from your PR1 or probably from your PR2 and try to modify that one based on what you think should be done for its betterment. Okay, say for example, in your PR1 you had a research about what you call this one, about, let's say, gadgets, right? So this time you can still use that particular research, but then again, it's not going to be the same anymore. Say for example, your participants or your respondents would not be the same as you had before, because literally those participants might not be in school anymore. Or probably if you were studying about online games in the past, this time around that's not possible because online happens to be more on the academic side. So sort of that thing. It's just like getting something from your PR1 and PR2 and try to modify it and recook it in a different manner. So then I can adjust to that one and I can accept that one as your paper for our subject in 3i's. Okay? So in other field of specialization, like for example in TVL, you might be asking, because in your syllabus or in your curriculum guide, what's written there is the research project. So 3i's and research projects are just the same thing. Okay, it's just that in TBL we are fond of using the term research project, but in other strands it is 3i's. Okay, now I will be your teacher for the entire semester. But for this semester, you are blessed to have not just one, but two teachers. Okay? So we are going to have Ma'am Wenzel Felipe. She is a practice teacher from TMCC or Tres Martires City College. She's also majoring in English and she's about to graduate. And you know, when you're taking an education subject class or education degree, prior to your graduation, you are going to have to do OGT or practice teaching. Okay, so practice teaching is that you will be immersed to different schools, and we are very lucky that we have them in our school. In our subject, what we have is who we have rather is Ma'am Wenzel Felipe. So for this live, I will be doing it myself, but later on the next live, you are going to see her already and you're going to meet her. And then on our next schedules, we're going to have Zoom and other platforms, so that we are going to have some sort of an online class as well, or online session. So some of you were asking me about why do we have to do Zoom links? I mean, why do we have to have Zoom classes when in fact we are modular, so on and so forth. So I'll be answering that one later on in this live, okay? But for those who are watching right now, and if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to our channel, okay? Okay, let me continue. So first, I'll be reminding you of our schedules. Okay, so this is going to be the entirety of what you are going to have for this entire semester with our subject. So we started today, that's February 14. So our first week class, or our week 1 to 2, would cover from February 14 to February 25. And during those schedules, it is expected that you are going to do brainstorming already for your topics as a group. Sir, how are we going to create our group? Who will be our group mates, so on and so forth? I'll be giving the instructions later on. And also, this is now the start. you can start now rather identifying the problem of your research. So what do you think should be something that you are interested about to research with? Okay, so anyway, Ma'am Wenzel will be discussing to you further the learner's activity out from our syllabus. Okay. Now, for this week 1 until week 5, you are already expected already to submit your research topic, your title, your statement of the problem, research instruments, hypothesis or assumption, conceptual framework, so on and so forth. Okay. Now, February 28 to March 18, that's going to be our weeks 3 and 5. Weeks 3 to 5 rather. And then weeks 6 to 8 would cover March 21 to April 8. So then we are done with the third quarter. So after the third quarter comes the fourth quarter. So fourth quarter we will be reminding you again of the schedule later on, but let's just focus on the third quarter this time around. So again, our fourth quarter class would cover from February 14 up to April 8. So you have to somehow condition yourselves already that during these times, you are really going to be doing research. Okay, so let me go back again to Ma'am Wenzel Felipe. I just hope, class, that whatever respect you are giving to me as your English teacher, as well as with the other teachers in your other subjects that you have, please do give that one to the rest of your practice teachers. Remember, they are going to be teachers sooner or later. Okay, and then their experience with their practicum this time determines their future as a teacher. So I hope you are going to respect her, you are going to love her, not in a negative or some other ways, but love her in the sense that she will be giving you a lot of knowledge later on. So I want you to what you call this one, dissect all those things, get all those things that you will learn from her. She's really good when it comes to English. I have talked to her. Okay, so yeah, pretty much those are the things that you need to remember. So once again, for this week, February 14 up to this coming Friday, this is going to be the live that we're going to do. So later on, once you knew who will who will be your group mates, you can start already brainstorming. You can start looking for the research problem, asking questions, so on and so forth. Okay, next week, okay, Mom Felipe will have her live also in my channel. She will be uploading that one, or she might do it live, and then she'll be introducing herself, and then she will be discussing something as to how you are going to identify research problem, how you're going to formulate questions, so on and so forth. And then on the third week class, that's going to be the first time that she will be conducting an online class. So what will happen during an online class? What are the things that you need to remember and to prepare during our Zoom classes? Then I'm going to explain that one in a little while. Okay? Now, if you have any questions regarding the things that I have told you this time around, you can just write in the chat box so that I can answer it. Okay? If you have questions. So, moving on, let's try to discuss now some of the rules. Okay? So first is, let's go to the deadlines and the schedule. So in the past, I've been handling research subjects for quite some time already in senior high school. And it is always the problem of my students and my problem regarding what they call this one, regarding the schedules. Okay, I basically understand, class, that some of you would literally run to me at the later part or at the end part of this semester, begging to please accept our research paper. Sir, I'm sorry I wasn't able to submit it on time, sir, blah, blah, blah. You have all the reasons in the world to justify why you were able to submit your papers late. But again, let me remind you that I am considerate, and as much as I can, class, I would consider that one together with Mom Felipe. We will try to consider whatever reasons you have for submitting your papers late, but then again, it would boil down to the idea that we have a deadline. So if you have a deadline, we also teachers have our deadline. Even if we want to accept that one because you have a valid reason for submitting your papers late, but then again, we also have our deadline of submitting your grades. So once our head office would say, okay, the deadline will have to be this week, then that has to be this week. We cannot be late with submitting our grades. So I'm sorry because as much as I want, or we want to consider all your requests later on regarding deadlines, but then again, we have to follow and stick to our schedules. That's why I have given you already the schedules prior to the research proper. Okay, to your research activity. So please do submit your papers on time, on or before the deadline. Now, say for example, if there are really, what do you call this one? If you have concerns, or if there are really things that is unavoidable, that's why you were not able to submit your papers, please do not tell us the reasons when you are already at the neck of time, but tell us ahead of time. Like, sir, we might not be able to submit our papers on time because of this one and that one. Okay, tell us ahead of time, not during the time of the deadline. Because when that happens, we won't be able to consider your request. And you know exactly that you are graduating, class. I want to remind each one of you that you are graduating. Okay? And so when you are graduating, your grades are computed way ahead of time. So when we say deadline, that has to be followed, because a week after that one, or a couple of days after the deadlines that we have set, that's going to be the deadline for us teachers to submit your grades for consolidation if you are going to graduate or not. So say for example, if we are given already the deadline and have set the deadline with you, but then you were late, I'm sorry, but we are going to mark your grades. We're going to give you a failing mark rather. That means you might not be eligible for graduation. And that happens in the past. I'm telling you, I had students in the past that did not graduate simply because of the research thing. It's not my fault. It's not their fault as well. It's just that you have to be more responsible. Okay? So that's the first reminder. You have to beat the deadline. So from time to time, we have our GC. So we will be updating you for changes in schedules. You also have to update us on where are you in your research stuff. Next. Again, if you have questions, just type it in the chat box. Next is, let's talk about the groupings. So since we cannot meet you face to face, we literally do not know you personally. We just rely on the Facebook stuff. Okay? I just decided that I'm just gonna let you decide on yourselves as to how you're going to form your group. Okay? Sir, how many members would there be in a group? Well, then it's up to you. If you want to go solo in doing your research paper, that's fine with me. If you want to go with a pair, if you want to have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100 members in your group, that's fine with me. Because the bottom line is that you really have to submit your paper, and that's what matters to us. Even if you are alone or there's tons of people in your group, but then again, at the end of the day, you were not able to submit your paper, then all of you will not graduate. Okay? So, remember that one. Next. So groupings should be due this week. So, you decide now as a group. I'm sure you have a GC. You try to formulate a group already. And then, once you have decided, I want you to write in the GC within this week, Remember, that's going to be Monday until Friday. We will be waiting for your group name and your group member. So once you have decided, you send in your group name and your group members in our GC so that we can start recording that one. That means to say that that's gonna be your group for the entire semester that you will be doing your research. Now, say for example, along the way, there is one that's not helping, and you find this one person or two persons that is unhelpful and somehow they don't do much in your research paper. Sir, can we kick them out from the group? Yes. But then again, if you want to kick somebody from the group, I want everyone to write a letter formally that it is a consensus, or the group has decided that we are going to kick out the name of the person, and then you provide the reasons why, and then all of you must sign. That means it is a unanimous decision from the rest of the group that this particular person or persons would be kicked out from the group because he or she is not helping, or they are not helping at all. Okay? So you have to choose the best group mate so that you won't be able to be late in the submission of your papers. Okay, so that's pretty much about the grouping. So again, you can create your own group. If you want to kick somebody out from the group, write a formal letter, signed by everyone, and then I'm going to honor that one. In that manner, say for example, at the end of the semester, and then this person that you kicked out do not have a grade in my research, and then the parents would have to be like blah blah blah. Why is my son or daughter not graduating? So on and so forth. So your letter that you kicked out somebody from your group is an evidence against that person that he or she doesn't deserve to be in the graduation because he or she did not submit an output in our research subject. It's as simple as that one, okay? So you cannot just say sir, we have kicked what's this? Juan de la Cruz because it's not helping. I will not consider that one. I will not honor that one, not unless it is in a formal writing. Okay? It's as simple as that. So next, let's go to the question earlier. Why do you need, or why do we need, well, sorry, why do you have to go into Zoom classes, or why do we have to have live sessions when it comes to our classes? So the very first reason is you have to remember that Mom Felipe is a practice teacher. So she's a practice teacher, and part of the requirement that she needs to undergo during her entire practicum schedule is that she needs to conduct online classes. Because in lieu thereof, if face-to-face classes would be possible, then that has to be face-to-face. But this time around, since, okay, listen to this one. Since this is not possible to have a face-to-face schedule, so she's going to do her class online. What is the importance of conducting an online class for Mom Felipe? Then that's the time that she will be observed on how she teaches. That's the time that she will be observed on how she is as an English teacher. So she needs that one class. This is our way of helping her, even if we are modular by nature, but expect that there will be sessions that she has to be teaching live and you have to be attending live. And then during the time, for those who will be present, you are going to have additional credit on your papers for that one. So this is not compulsory. Okay, there might be time class that we are just going to have a session with one, with one section on your schedule. Remember that you were already given the schedule, right? Say for example, 3i's is on Monday 1 to 2, or Tuesday 8 to 10, or sort of that thing. So we might do that one in a particular schedule. We might do it, or we might do it as a whole. Say for example, we're going to have Friday. So everyone that is available on Friday on that particular schedule, then you can attend the session or the class. Anyway, it's just going to be the same lesson from one section to the other. Next, so that's one reason, okay? We're doing this for Mom Felipe. And you also need to see her teaching because she's really good. Second to that one is, I'm pretty much sure by the time that you will start writing your paper, you're going to be bombarding me with a lot of questions, and also with Mom Felipe. So we don't want, or we won't be able to answer all your questions. So the Zoom meeting or the live session is intended for us to answer all your questions. Say for example, for this particular week, Mom Felipe will be discussing about making hypotheses or research questions. Okay, and then during that time, if you have other questions apart from the topic that she discussed, then that's the time that we will be discussing, or we will be answering your questions. Okay, so that's the second purpose. Now, the third purpose why we need to have Zoom classes is that this is going to be a practice for your final presentation. So do not think, class, that because it is modular or because we are in a pandemic that you are not going to present your paper. So just like what I did for the previous years, I still required my students to do an oral presentation even online. So this is just a practice on how you're going to answer questions online, on how you're going to manipulate the platforms online during your final presentation. So later on, I'll be explaining how you will be given a grade on this subject. So I hope you do understand the 3 reasons. Okay, these are very essentials and these are very necessary. That's why, whether we like it or not, personally, I also don't want to conduct online classes because I'm not used to it. But this time, because of these 3 reasons that I have mentioned earlier, we have to do it. Again, this is not compulsory. If you are not comfortable attending the Zoom meetings, it's fine. But if you can attend class, if you have the access, please do attend because you will be given an extra credit for that one. And also, it's going to be a great opportunity for you to ask questions to ask your teachers so that we can clarify issues and things that you have. Remember, we cannot answer all your questions in one setting. So that's why we will be doing Zoom classes from time to time. It's not gonna be every week though. It's not gonna be every week. So again, the first Zoom class that Ma'am Felipe will conduct would have to be on the third week. So next week rather, she'll be doing the same thing here on my YouTube channel. So you can just watch it whenever you are free. And then the week after next week, then that's the time you're going to have our first Zoom meeting. She'll be discussing a particular topic for all of you. Okay, next. Let's talk about the requirements. So, as what I've said, it doesn't mean to say that we are in a pandemic that you are not to submit your requirements. This is a research thing. So, the first requirement for you to pass is you have to have your full, your paper submitted on or before the deadline. That's the first one. Sir, are we going to submit our paper hard copy or soft copy? Well, whatever is convenient to you. In my previous year teaching the research during the pandemic, some of them submitted it hard copy, but then again, it's not a requirement. If you are comfortable submitting it via Messenger or through a Google Drive or whatever platforms online that we have, then you can utilize that one. It's no problem with me. Okay, as long as you have to have your paper submitted. Next to that one is your oral presentation during finals. Now, your oral presentation class doesn't have to be in a group, but it has to be individual. So, on your oral presentation, the very purpose of that one is we're just going to check if you did help or if you were part of the writing process of the research thing. Because remember, what is important in this subject, it's not that you were able to submit it, but you were not the ones who do it. Okay, so just to check and to validate that you did write your paper by yourselves, then your oral presentation at the end of this subject would have to be individual. So how it will be done? So we can do that one. Last year, what I did was that I was the one who called them. I called them through Messenger, and also if not, because they don't have an internet connection, I called them through phone. So yeah, I spent quite an amount calling them one by phone, but that's the way I evaluated my students on a personal note. So expect that at the conclusion of this subject, you will be doing an oral presentation one by one, not by group. Okay, because I'm convinced that once you are able to submit your paper, it is already imperative that you did it by as an entire group. So you have nothing to prove to me as a group, but what you have to prove is your understanding and your participation on a personal note, one by one. Okay, so just expect. So make sure that once your group started to work on your paper, you have to do it all together. Okay, so those are the requirements: your paper and the oral presentation. Now let's move on to your grading system. So your grading system class, at the conclusion, at the entirety of this subject, you are going to have a group, a grade by group and individual group. So 50% of your total grade would have to be coming from your paper as a group. And then the other 50% would have to be coming from your oral presentations individually. So, this is the consequence, or this is not the scenario. Say for example, you were able to get a good grade because you literally have participated, or you have a group. Your group submitted a paper, so that's already 50%. And then you did good in your oral presentation individual oral presentation. So that's for sure you will be graduating. But say for example, you do not have a group, but sir, is it possible that I can do an oral presentation, a personal oral presentation, even if I don't have a group? Yes, if you were the only one who did your research, you can do that one. Okay, still, even if it's by a group, or you are solo, still your grade will be coming from your paper and from the oral presentation. It's as simple as that one. The only benefit and the only good thing about doing an oral presentation individually when you have a group is that you basically know everything that's happening in the group or how the paper is done. It's as simple as that one. You are not handling all the pressures and all the concerns in research writing all by yourself, but at least you have a company to help you. Okay, so that's how I'm going to give you your grades, class. Remember, would be 50% is coming from your paper, and then the other 50% would have to be from your oral presentation, individual. Okay, so next, these are basically the rules that I want everyone to follow so that we won't have a problem. Last year or in the previous year's class, especially when we started doing online classes, or when we are what do you call this one, consoled into this particular way of teaching, a lot of my students, what they call this one, they made a complaint because according to them, I am not answering their questions online. Okay, I am not answering their calls. What else? That I am not always online, so on and so forth. So the only answers I gave them as well as to their parents is that I am a teacher, I am not a call center agent. Okay, I am not in Facebook 24/7 and to wait for all your questions round the clock. Okay, so first thing that you need to remember is that we have our schedules, right? We have our own schedules. So only those schedules that I'm going to answer questions. Say for example, if you are going to give me or to ask me a question on a Sunday, expect that I will not be answering questions on Sundays. On Saturdays, it's very minimal. If I'm not busy, I do cater questions on a Saturday. But when I'm too busy as well, I do not answer anything. I do not answer any questions on a Saturday and Sunday. Now, you have to remember, class, that again, even not just me, but also with the rest of your teachers, we also have our own lives. Though we are your teachers, we are compelled to answer your questions online, but you have to make sure to ask it in an appropriate time. What's the appropriate time? We start our working hours. We are paid by the government for our service in teaching from 8 in the morning up to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's 8 hours of working every day, Monday to Friday. So that's the only time that you can ask us questions. Other than those schedules, class, expect that I'm not answering your questions to impose discipline on my students. Okay? Especially if you will be giving me questions late night, probably. Expect that I will not reply. Or if I'm going to reply, I will be mad. Okay? So I hope it's clear to you. You can ask questions on our specific schedule, or if not, remember that the time should be Monday to Friday, 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. That goes to Ma'am Wenzel Felipe as well. So it doesn't mean to say that she is a practice teacher that you can just bombard her any time of the day and ask questions even if it's early morning. No, I have given her instructions not to answer any questions coming from my students or coming from our students beyond our working hours. So evening questions will not be entertained, weekends will not be entertained, because Monday to Friday is only our schedule. Okay, now another thing is I want everyone to utilize the GC. I have also told Ma'am Wendell that all your questions will be through our GC. If it's a personal message, the tendency is I might read that one. But if it's related to academics, and it can be when the question should be on a GC, then I won't answer that one. Say for example, if you will be asking, sir, how are we going to write a research question? And then you PM me. Well, I will not answer that one because that question deserves to be in the GC and not on a personal message. So the only time that I'm going to answer you through a personal message is when it is confidential or when it is too personal. Say, for example, if something happens to you, you have troubles emotionally, mentally, that you want to talk to us privately, then that's okay if you're going to send us a personal message. All your questions should be addressed on our GC. And that's where we're going to answer your questions. Am I clear? So do not be mad if we don't answer your questions on a personal note, because we have all the freedom in the world not to, because we have actually the proper platform, and that's our GC in answering your questions. Okay? So again, the schedule for asking question is Monday to Friday, 8 to 5, or during our class schedule. And then second to that is use our GC, utilize our group chat with whatever questions you have, as long as it's academic. If it's personal and confidential, then that's the time you can PM us. Okay? If it's not, then let's talk in the GC, because your question might be the question as well of other students. So could you just imagine if everyone is having the same question and everyone would PM us, okay, and we have to answer 40 students with the same question and same answer? That's just so tiring to do. So I hope you do understand our side as well, that you are not the only section that I am handling or we are handling. So take note, class, that in this particular semester, I'm handling 7 sections. So 5 sections coming from English and 2 sections from TVL. So just multiply, is, say for example, we have at least 40 students in a section. So multiply that one by 70. So that's how many students I have or we have in this semester. So we are so sorry, but we cannot accommodate all your questions one by one. So might as well do it in the GC. Now, sir, I've sent my question on the GC at 8 o'clock in the evening, but you did not answer. Again, it's 8 o'clock. It's beyond school hours. Okay? So if you choose to do it in the evening, then wait for our replies in the morning. It's as simple as that one. Again, we are not call center agents. That's wide away. That we are not call center agents that is expected to be wide awake 24 hours every day, right? Sir, are we required to speak English language during the online class? Okay, that's also another thing. That's one thing that I need to discuss with you, because literally this is an English class. Whether you like it or not, research happens to be in the English department. So, strictly, I have given rules to Ma'am Wendell that all our conversations with our students, be it online, through group chats, messages, should be in English. If it's not in English, then do not expect that we're going to answer you. Again, class, we are not expecting you to have a perfect thing about English. We do not expect, and we do not even require you to have a perfect grammar once you message us or once you ask us question. But what is important is that we can see that you are actually practicing and you are gaining that confidence regarding English. Okay? Because whether you like it or not, when you go to college class, everyone speaks English in college. Okay? That's proven and true. I have so many students in the past that was like, they kind of like, they don't like it. Okay? The worst word was like, they hated me during that time when I have to impose that they really have to talk in English with me in all times, in all places, as long as it's about our subject. So by then, when they go to college, they all thank me because their English is not yet perfect. Still, it's not that good. But again, they just have the confidence to talk to anybody in college in English. And that's what more important, class. I want you to gain the confidence that English doesn't have to be really perfect. And nobody's perfect in English with the Filipinos, because excuse me, it is imperative that English is not our native language. This is not our first what do you call this? This is not our mother tongue. This is not our first speaking dialect or language, right? So from time to time, even myself, I'm not free from any errors in speaking in English, but you see what I've got is actually the confidence when I talk to people in English, and that's something that I want to transpire to my students. And this time around, it's not just me, but I'm just so happy that Mom Wendell also took the challenge when I told her that I want everyone to talk in English. Personally, even Mom Wendell and I also talk in English. The very first time that we met each other, we talked in English. So I told her, when you talk to our students and when we're going to both talk to each other, it's gonna be a practice. It's gonna be a normal thing for both of us, for all of us rather, to just talk in English. Again, it doesn't matter. I don't want you to be afraid or to be scared or to be shy. That's why I don't know how to speak in English. Well, you wouldn't know how to speak English not until you try. Okay? And the best way to practice your English class is during our English sessions. So from time to time, you are required to speak in English. If it's not in English, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to zipper my mouth. You won't have any answers coming from me or from Mom Felipe. Okay, so yeah, pretty much those are the things that I want to remind everyone with. I hope you learned something for our session, and I hope you are excited and you are looking forward of learning new stuff and new things during our sessions for this entire semester. Again, this is my YouTube channel, and together with me is a friend of mine. Her name is Antoinette Aquino, and we created this channel because we want to promote love for Aspins. Aspins is a local breed of our dog, and we want to spread awareness that there are a lot of Aspins or stray dogs outside that needs our help. So please do help us, because the proceeds of our channel will be donated to some shelters that caters and saves stray dogs and cats. So please do help us promote our channel. Kindly subscribe to our channel and share this to your friends and family members as well, especially for those dog lovers. So from time to time, I'm also using this one as a platform for conducting my classes, because if I have to do it regularly in Zoom, that's not possible, because Zoom is just a one-time thing, right? So YouTube is better, because whenever you have the convenience of time, you can just go back and watch my live again, and then that's it. That's how we interact. Okay, so yeah, pretty much those are the things that I want my class to understand and to know for this semester. I'm just so happy that you are in my section, and I hope we will be able to impart knowledge and we'll be able to help you with your quest in writing your research paper for this entire semester. Do not worry, class, because we do understand that research writing is not an easy thing. I personally am writing my researches as well for my higher education this time around, and I know the feeling. But that's okay. We're here to help you. We're here to assist you. We do not expect that your paper will be perfect, but at least it should be justifiable. Meaning to say, at least you are already accustomed to writing a research paper since you have your PR1 and your PR2. So what we're going to do now is not really to give you a fresh knowledge on research writing, but this is just some sort of a review of whatever you have learned from your previous research subjects. Okay? So yeah. Do you have any questions? If you have questions, I'll stay here and probably 10 more minutes just to cater to some questions that you have. You can write it in the chat box. Then after 10 minutes, I'm gonna end my live. So you kindly tell your classmates that if they have not watched it right now, they can just go back, go to my YouTube channel, and then just click this one and yeah, watch this. And again, please do subscribe to our channel, people. Thank you so much for watching, okay? So not until I'll be receiving questions from the chat box, then I'll be answering it in 10 minutes time. If after 10 minutes, no more questions, I'm gonna end that live, okay? So for now, I'm just gonna shut up. I'm just gonna be silent and enjoy the moment. Okay, it's 45. So yeah, I'm expected to end my live at after 10 more minutes, so 55 minutes. So please do ask questions now if you have clarifications. Write down your questions in the chat box. So people, are you sure you have no more questions? Come on, ask questions. Oh, let me just remind that for the TBL students, I want a different GC from my subject in TBL, okay? Okay, question. Sir, is it okay to have an off cam on our online class? Yeah, if it's not possible that you can turn on your off cam because you are having an internet issues, it's okay as long as we know that you're there. But if it's feasible, if it's doable that you can open your cam, then please do open it so that we can show respect to Ma'am Felipe as she's going to do her session or as she do her teaching, okay? And again, it is part of the record keeping that we're going to have a screenshot with our camera on during the session. But if it's not possible, it's okay, no problem. Okay? Thank you for asking, Bianca. Okay, we have Jonah, Whew. I know everyone is so excited. It's just a couple of months from now that you are going to graduate. Okay, congratulations. I hope you're gonna graduate face to face, right? I hope it's not going to be virtual. I hope so. So you do good, people, okay? Couple of months, then you are graduating. You know, the last part should like be the hardest. Sir, is my question visible? I haven't seen your question, Erin. How do you pronounce that? Erin? Charlotte? Erin? Okay. Erin, I haven't seen your message. I don't know what's your question. Please do type in your question, Erin, Charlotte. Charlotte. Okay, 7 more minutes. I'm gonna end my live, people. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, by the way, class, I know that most of you are part of using po and opo, even if you speak in English. So, again, in English, po and opo do not exist. So, when you're going to talk to us in English, it's okay not to say po and opo, and we are not going to tell you that you are being disrespectful in that sense. Okay? Because I find it awkward to read and to listen to you and say like, sir, I have a question po. So literally, it's not a formal English in that sense. So it's okay not to use po and opo when you're going to speak or write in English. I totally understand. Because personally as well, when I am when I am writing and speaking in English as well, I do not use po and opo because basically, again, as what I've said, it's not part of the English thing. Okay? So it's okay not to say po and opo. You're still respectful without those words in English. Okay, dokie. Okay. 6 more minutes. Just so if you have other clarifications class regarding our subject, please ask now. Five minutes, I'm going to end the live. Thank you so much for watching. Again, please do subscribe and share our Please do share our channel, okay? And enjoy our videos, class. Most of our videos, 99% of our videos in this channel are about our dogs. And they're all Aspins. Okay, 4 minutes. We're gonna say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Let me check if there's something that I missed telling you. Two more minutes. I created a list of the important details you discussed here, sir. Can I send it to our group chat so my classmates will be informed as well? Yeah, you can do that one. Thank you for the initiative, Charlotte. You can do that one, okay? No problem. Again, class, if you have other concerns, if you have, problems or whatsoever, apart from the subjects that we are very much open to talk to you, okay? If you're struggling with something, if you're using drugs or what, so we can talk about it. Ow, my dogs are now wide awake and decided to bombard me. Okay, 1 more minute. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me in my live today. Hope to get to know you personally later on. Please help us with our channel. Share it. Share. And tell them to subscribe and watch our videos. Okay. 20 seconds to go and we're done. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon, people. You take good care, okay? Do not go out for Valentine's Day. Stay inside your houses so that you won't have COVID. Okay? Do not go out dating. It will not help you with your future. Bye-bye!